Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is an iPad user guide. This is the basics for someone who has never used an iPad before. I made a similar guide many years ago when the iPad came out and went over the basics, and now I thought it's time to revise that since this has changed quite a bit. So this video is very basic, but I thought I'd show you since a lot of people seem to be enjoying that video. So the first thing you need to know is how to turn it on and off, and that's pretty simple. This is an iPad Air 2, but it's all the same. There's a button right here on the top, and this is called the power or sleep wake button. So to turn it on, you can do that one of two ways. You can push this button, it wakes it up. Let's rotate back here, and you can do that just by lifting and rotating. And you can lock that as well, and we'll show you that in a moment. But you can turn it on with the button on top, or if it's off, you can push the button down at the bottom. Now, if you have Touch ID and you've set up your iPad for the first time, this will recognize your fingerprint, so you touch your fingerprint on it and it will unlock. If it's sleeping, you push and keep your finger there and it will unlock. So you can do that a couple different ways. Now, if it's the first time you're booting the iPad, it's going to ask you for your password, and you'll just simply type that in after you wake it up and slide to unlock. So if you don't have an iPad that has the fingerprint reader, you wake it up, you slide to unlock, it will go to a password if you've set a password. If you have Touch ID, put your finger on there and it unlocks. Now, once in a while, you may experience your iPad locking up. Now, it's unfortunate that that does happen from time to time. It's pretty rare, but it does happen. And if that happens, there's a couple ways to reset this. If it's locked up, the first thing you want to do is hold the top button. Once you hold this down, it will do one of two things. If it's locked up, it will pop open to this, or it won't do anything. If it pops open to this, that's how you power the device off. So you just hold the button down here on top and then slide to power off. You do the same thing to turn the device on. You push the button, hold it down, and it will turn on. Now, in the worst case scenario, if it's completely locked up, won't do anything, you simply hold the top button right here and the bottom button here at the same time. And you want to hold those for about 10 seconds. Basically hold them until the screen blacks out and then comes back up with the Apple logo. That's a worst case scenario hard reset, but that will get you back and running again and just return it back to the icon and then allow you to log in. Now, you've seen my iPad rotate a couple times, and maybe we don't want that to happen. So we have this command center that we can bring up from the bottom. Now, in order to do that, we want to slide our finger from the bezel here, this black portion or white, depending on which one you have, and slide it into the screen. So if we slide down, we slide. We can't do it if we're in this part of the screen. We need to be off of this part of the screen. So we slide up into that part of the screen and we get this command center. Here we have this little auto rotation lock right here. So if we tap on this, you'll see it says orientation lock on. If I tap it again, look right there, now it's off. So if you don't want it to rotate and it's doing that, that's an easy way to turn it off. Now, some of you may have a switch on the side of your device. The iPad Air 2, like this one, and some of the iPad minis don't have that, so you won't be able to do it there, but you can just do it right from below. Since iOS 7, which is a couple of years old, into this version of iOS, which is the operating system running on the iPad, we've got Notification Center. So similar to how we slid up from the bottom, we can slide down from the top. This will give you information about your calendar and maybe some other things you might have in here, and I can go into that in more detail in a different video. We can also slide to the right and get notifications. So we have a bunch of notifications here that I've had on Twitter and things like that, and they just show up here. If we want to clear them, we just hit the X and hit clear. Then we slide it away. So we have that as well. So maybe you saw something pop in at the top of the screen and you're wondering where it went. Well, it's probably in notifications at the top. Now, iPad also can be muted. So maybe you have volume going on and you've got these volume switches on the side, but maybe you want the iPad to be fully muted. Well, again, that's down here in the bottom. This is mute and mine's currently muted, so I can just unmute it or mute it. And that will simply mute it, and you just swipe that away. And then the other things we can do are gestures, and there's a lot more we can do, and I'll show you in different videos. But right now, if you want to actually switch between apps that might already be open, you can do that one of two ways. We can double tap the home button, and now we've got different apps we can slide between. And the one we want, we just tap on and it will open up. So maybe I want to go into settings. There's settings. and it pops right in. Now maybe I want to close an app in the background that's running. Again, double tap and swipe it away. You can do a couple at once as well. You can just swipe it away. So if you want to close those, or you can leave them open, Apple pretty much manages this for the most part without a problem, and you really don't have to worry about it if you don't want to pay attention to it. But the gestures I talked about are done with multiple fingers. So you can get the same exact thing by swiping up with 4 fingers. See, with 3 it doesn't work, 2 it doesn't work, but if you use all 4, you swipe up and it goes to the same thing. And then if you're in an app itself, so maybe we'll go in here and we want to close out of the app, we can do this pinching motion. So we do this and it goes back to the home screen. So 4 fingers up, tap on an app, pinch, and we go back home. Now all of these icons can be managed as well, and maybe we don't want them in the actual location that they're located. Maybe we want to put them in a folder, or we want to move them around or delete them. What we need to do in order to do that is just tap on an icon and hold your finger there. They'll start to jiggle, and then you get this little X that's on there. The X allows you to delete the application or uninstall it. If you don't want to delete anything, or you did that by mistake, just hit the home button and they'll stop jiggling and you're back to where you were. If you want to move them around, just tap and hold. And then again, tap and hold on the one you want to move and slide it to where you want to move it. Or we can move this one up here and just keep moving them around. If we want to create a folder, we drag one of these on top of the other. So maybe I want to make a folder with this one. You can see it made a folder, and then it drags into the folder. Now if I didn't hold it there, we can just drag it in and let go, and it will go into the folder. But if I want to rename that folder, I need to tap onto the folder, and in here we can type and rename it. If I want to remove them from the folder, again, I drag these out of the folder, it goes back to the home screen, and I let go. Same with this one, and then this one, and then the folder disappears. As you add more applications, it will add pages. So as you add more and more and more, it adds pages and pages and pages. As you delete them, it deletes pages. So it's really very simple, and there's just these set of icons. You can also put icons down here in the dock in the bottom. There's 6 icons that are allowed, but you can put less as well. So maybe I don't want one in there. I can get rid of them, but you can put a maximum of 6 in there, and I like to keep that full myself. Lastly, I wanted to show you how to find an application. Maybe you've got a bunch of applications like me, and you're not exactly sure what you did with them, but you want to get to that application quickly. So maybe you know that you've installed, say, Sci-Fi up here that we have, but you don't know where you've placed it, and you're on your home screen. Well, you can scroll to the right, and you get search up at the top. You can see I already typed in video to search for video before. Or you can just pull anywhere there's not an icon, just pull straight down, and you'll get to the same box. So let's cancel that. Let's go in here and clear this, and we'll search for Sci-Fi. And you can see the first thing it pops up is the app. So it finds what's on the device. Then it looks in the App Store, gives some suggested websites, and some other things based on applications. You can actually scroll down this list and find a bunch of things with that word in it. So if we want the Sci-Fi app, we just tap on it and it will open. If we want to search something else, just click the little X here, clear it, and search. So it's a really nice way to find something, not just applications, but a lot of things on your device. So hopefully that gets you started using an iPad, and there'll be more videos like this based on other more advanced things you can do with the iPad, but I thought I'd make a quick video to get you started on using it. So that's pretty much it, but let me know what videos you'd like to see in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.